Good evening. Welcome to the Overland Radio Show. It's Tuesday night, 8 o'clock, our usual. Thank you for joining us. I'm Lee, one of the hosts. Ashley's in the background down here. And our special guest, Mark, is right there. Anyway, before we get started and bring everybody on, special shout out to our sponsors, Chad from Overland Attic, Rugged Bound, and of course our good friends at Midland USA. We appreciate everything you do to help us bring these shows and continually to bring the shows to you live and podcast format. So if you're joining us tonight, do us a favor. If you're watching it on Facebook, YouTube, we're now on Instagram and Twitter. So we're on all the platforms. Do us a favor, go out and share it. If you have a moment, hit us up on iTunes or somewhere like that and give us a good positive review. We'd appreciate it. So with that said, I'm going to bring Ashley in, and then right after that, we're going to bring our special guest, Mr. Mark Bruce from REDARC, who I just coined the phrase that he's a 12-volt walking encyclopedia. I'm pretty sure that wraps it up good. But here's Ashley.
Hey, everybody. How's it going tonight?
Good.
Good.
I'm good. It's cold in Oklahoma.
Yes.
Now Mark just shared something with us prior in the, what do we call that? The green room or whatever.
Yeah.
He just shared with us that in Australia, he is experiencing 41.5 degrees Celsius.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I did the conversion because Ashley and I both were like, okay, what's that Fahrenheit? Because, we don't know what it is in Celsius. It's 105.8 degrees. So we had to clarify if Mark was actually in Australia or was he in hell.
But see, at this point, I think I'd rather be there than dealing with the shit we're dealing with here.
I don't know. See, now, okay, here's the deal. I like the cold weather.
Nope.
What I don't like is a lot of wind. So with my having the multiple sclerosis, the heat makes my body hurt really bad. But this cold weather feels good. And so I've been outside as much as I can go out. It's just the wind that I don't like. So, we all have our own little ways of doing it. But other than that, it's 0 degrees last night or 1 degree or something like that.
It was cold.
Yeah. We still have some snow on the ground, which is kind of cool because we don't normally have snow that, we do, but it doesn't last.
Right. In terms of ice.
Right.
Yeah.
So anyway, so tonight we're going to have Mark from REDARC all the way from Australia with us. And I got to say that he ranks up there in that top group of people that I enjoy having on the show repeatedly. And he's been on once or twice now, I think. And so it's just fun because he knows his stuff. You know what I mean? I mean, like, I'm hoping that everybody gets in and seriously asks questions because
I'm going to have questions. I know Jeff's going to have questions. This is the first time I've actually gotten a chance to talk with Mark, and I'm excited to have him on the show because I know nothing about this. Jeff's been trying to convince me to do this for years, and I'm just apprehensive. So I need to talk to somebody about it.
Well, listen, everybody saddle up, grab your beverage of choice, whatever it happens to be.
I can't wait until next week, hopefully.
Why?
Oh, just wait until it shows up. I can't wait.
Okay. So tonight I'm just doing straight up Coca-Cola tonight. I'm hitting hard stuff, as they say. But anyway, let's bring our buddy in, Mark Bruce. I wish I had.
Hey guys, how you doing?
I wish I had this clapping thing to do.
You did the clapping thing to me once. Why can't you do it to Mark?
I wasn't thinking ahead and planning. How
you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
Fantastic. Thank you.
Did you get into an accident? Half your head's missing.
It's just background.
Yeah. See, I'm currently in my garage at home. There's some renovations going on, so we've had to migrate our office and half of our bedroom furnitures and all that type of thing into the garage. So up until about 15 minutes ago, we had a failed air conditioner at home. And like you said, it's like 100 and something Fahrenheit here at home at the moment. So having to work out of the garage where there is no air conditioning makes up for some pretty ordinary environments.
I hope there's some fans going at least to keep it cool.
We got some fans going on. We got some fans.
Wow.
And I know Lee's a fan.
So listen, I know Mark and I are friends on Facebook, and the other day I saw this little picture, and it was it was like a 1970s or 80s style miniature. Had the big rake on the front of it. What do they call those bikes?
Chopper.
Yeah.
Chopper.
And it had a I got to be political correct. I can't say midget or dwarf because that makes people mad. So it was like a little person. Anyway, on this mini bike or chopper, and I posted it on Mark's thing, and I said Mark Bruce in a previous life. So I was going to use that. At first, I thought I should use this for his, the thing we share, the little picture that we, put out. And I thought, I better not do that. So I picked another one that's much more appropriate for Mark in his professional position at REDARC. So anyway, yeah, it's hot down there. Jason's in the house. Jason is out in Arizona, I believe. So he's probably in some pretty mild temperatures. So he's probably sitting on the back porch in a pair of shorts and flip-flops. But
that's where my in-laws are, and that's where I'd rather be right now.
Yeah.
Out there.
Yeah. Good evening, Steve. And there's Mr. Michael in the house all the way from Alaska.
It's colder here than it is there right now.
Alaska.
I mean,
hey, I'll be in Alaska later in the year.
Will you? Where are you going?
Yeah, my wife and I are doing an anniversary holiday, and
Cool.
we're doing a 7-night boat cruise through Alaska.
Are you going to be in the Kenai Peninsula?
I don't know. I just do what I'm told.
There you go. Smart man.
He's going to be on the boat, and that's it. That's all he needs to know about.
No. We're bouncing around a bit. We're flying into San Francisco. We're driving up to Seattle. We jump on a boat. We get back. We fly to Vancouver, have a few days in Vancouver, and then we fly over to Toronto and a few days in Toronto, and then back to San Fran, and then off to Singapore for a few days, and then back home.
Wow.
Wow.
Now, I got to say, before we get too deep into the 12-volt stuff, Mark and his wife do something that I think that we might actually be happier people if we did this and celebrated week-long birthdays.
Yeah.
So when it's birthdays, when it's Mark's birthday or his wife's birthday, they spend the whole week celebrating that birthday.
Okay.
And it's gifts and dinners and lunches and all kinds. It's cool. I mean, it's legit cool. And I'm thinking to myself, maybe if we did some of that, we might actually enjoy it.
I've tried instigating that at my house. I even tried month long. It doesn't work.
I'm always in awe when I see Mark post this stuff. I'm like, that is so cool. So
yeah,
that's off to you guys, man.
Jeff, take notes if you're not listening already. Just saying, it is possible. My birthday's coming up.
It is. Oh, really?
Yeah.
What do you turn, like 45, 46?
No, you're an asshole. No, I turned 40.
I turned 50. Hey, look, I turned 53, a week and a half ago?
Stop making me older than I am.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so let's talk 12-volt. Let's talk some REDARC.
Yes.
Now, since the last time we've talked to you, a few things have changed, Mark. You guys came out with the Rogue. You came out with your new battery.
Yeah.
And you've come out with this recently, the new battery monitor, which is pretty darn cool. So
yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Hit us up. What's up with the battery? Let's start with the battery. The battery's
okay. So yeah, it's a 150 amp hour lithium battery. Mm-hmm. It's a really dense power. So when I say dense power, dense energy, we fit like 150 amp hours into a battery that looks like it's 100 amp hours. Oh. Right. So and not only is it 150 amp hours, but one lithium battery can handle a 2000 watt inverter, where normally you'd need two batteries.
Yeah.
To be able to handle a 2000 watt inverter. So what that means is the actual battery can handle a constant 200 amp discharge. constant.
Holy,
That's
It's heavy duty, and the battery has its own inbuilt Bluetooth, so it can give you battery information like what's the state of charge, or how much current are you pulling from it, or how much current are you putting into the battery. It's a really trick bit of kit.
Nice. All
That's
right,
awesome.
so that came out mid last year, I believe.
About mid last year. We've recently had a change in the map pricing as well, so it's now down to like $17.99 US. So whereas before it was like $2,300.
Oh,
so
wow.
That's not bad.
We've managed to reduce the price quite substantially and make it more affordable. But essentially, where you would have needed 2 lithium batteries in parallel to run a 2,000 watt inverter, which, by the way, is the most popular inverter sold in the US.
That you actually have too.
That we have a 2,000 watt. That's right. But now you can do it with one battery.
That's pretty neat.
It's pretty cool. So you're taking up less space.
How did you get all that into the same footprint, or is it the same footprint? Is it slightly bigger?
It's slightly bigger than a Group 31. I think they refer to it as a Group 49 battery. So it's it's an inch longer, but it's thinner and it's shallower.
Really?
So it's less high. So, man, it's amazing. It's just we use what they refer to as really dense lithium cells, so the really compact power.
Got it. Huh. When you look at all these batteries, it's really hard to tell a lot of them what you're going to get unless you go with a brand like a REDARC or one of the other popular ones. And I know there's a lot of people that buy the ones off of Amazon and they have successes with them, but I can never tell how big they are, and half the time the measurements don't even add up. So, I mean, you're talking an inch longer, but still shorter and more narrow.
Yeah, so it is pretty cool. I think there's some DIN size to the battery, but it's in the US they refer to it as a Group 49. So whatever that means, I just know it's virtually the size of a Group 31 battery, but we give you 50% more power.
Oh my gosh. So Jeff says, so in other
no,
words,
I already shook my head. I already shook my head now.
Why?
Because he hasn't finished it.
Anyway, Jeff's going to maybe look at redesigning something. Michael says length and no girth, like Lee minus the length. Thanks, buddy. I always know I can count on you.
So Mike asked earlier, how do those batteries work in the cold weather? Because with him being up in Alaska, he's dealing with the more extreme cold.
Yeah, man.
Typically versus us than right now.
What our batteries also have is an inbuilt heater that you can program through the Bluetooth app of your mobile phone, so you can choose when you want the heater to turn on and when you want it to turn off.
That's pretty good.
That's awesome.
All in one kit.
But when you're turning on that heater, how does it affect the battery life any, or?
Of course, because it's going to draw some power to run the heater. But you'd also have the option of running the heater from an external source. Okay. If you wanted to run the heater from your start battery, for example, whilst you're driving down the highway, rather than pulling your power from itself. So,
in theory, you can have everything off in the mornings, so you can draw down. Actually, you can draw on a lithium battery below the freezing mark. You just can't charge. So in theory, you could fire up the heater that's built into it, warm the battery up, and then at that point you could start your charging process, whatever it be. If you have a REDARC, like a DC to DC, and your solar kicks in, starts charging the battery because it's warm enough, so it's making up for the loss. But
if temperature reaches 32 Fahrenheit, you can have the battery internal heater turn on.
Yeah, and
that's awesome.
That's
take care of itself.
Okay, so you're not helping the Jeff's comment earlier, by the way, about having to redesign the Cricut kitchen. So we have the Taxa Cricut camper. I don't know if you've seen them, but they're pretty popular. And I'll show you.
Yeah.
But we have 2 lithium batteries right now in it. And I'm sitting here listening to you going, crap, we're going to have to order this. Because it would be super beneficial. It gets cold in there. So the fact that, it's got a propane heater, but to keep the battery warm would be epic.
Now,
I mean, there are companies that make like electric blankets for lithium batteries.
Exactly what I was about to say.
So there's lots of really good battery manufacturers on the market, and a lot of them now are offering internal heaters like we do. So there's lots of good quality batteries out there.
Yeah, because and honestly, I mean, I was this evening actually, prior to us going live, I was looking at heating mats to set the battery on to help heat the battery, because the ones that I have do not have built-in heaters. I want to have those, but I don't have those. And sometimes I think, well, as nice as that is, how many months do we really have below freezing here in Oklahoma? Well, technically speaking, there's about 4 months where we have hits and misses. And so, but that is a cool feature to have that on your iPad or your app. That's probably that's super impressive. So
yeah, it's really cool. Everything's on your phone.
Jeff wants to know, can he get a good deal on 6 batteries?
I'm trying to figure out, where does he think he's going to put 6 batteries? First of all,
here's the thing. He's probably going to put them in that camper where you would normally sleep. So you're going to have to stay home.
Well, no. I know 2 for the camper, 2 for the 4Runner. I'm assuming he's talking about the other 2 for either the Sequoia or the Taco.
Man. So, so that is a lot of power.
I don't think he needs that many.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on from the battery, hey, what goes good with the battery? Battery monitor, right? Yeah.
So we've just released the smart battery monitor, the REDARC smart battery monitor. It's a small device that measures the current flow in and out of your batteries, no matter what type of battery you have, whether it's an AGM, a normal lead acid, or even a lithium battery. But essentially, this is a fuel gauge for your auxiliary battery system. So, Ashley, imagine pulling up at your gas station, filling up with gas, pulling out to the highway and driving down the highway without a fuel gauge. You don't know how far you've got to go. You don't know how long you're going to be able to run your vehicle for. You don't know if today you're driving down the highway on your own, and then tomorrow you throw on a camper trailer or something that's heavy, and it's changing your fuel consumption. You don't know this stuff. But what we have in our smart battery monitor is we've developed an algorithm to measure current flow and convert volts and amps into time. So
really,
if you put in the correct information about your battery, i.e. what chemistry is it and how many amp hours it is, then we'll use that information to monitor current flow in and out of your battery, and then provide you not just volts and amps, but also days and hours remaining in your battery.
See, okay, now that I can get behind, because I need it dumbed down for me as much as possible.
I'll second that.
Shut up. Shut up, Lee. But like when it comes to this stuff, I don't understand it. I've never been, this is a whole new realm for me. So I think I love listening to people talk about it, but when they start throwing out the voltage versus watts and everything else, I get so confused, and I don't understand how that actually affects what I'm dealing with. So
you just want to know, how much do I have in that battery, and how long can I go, and what devices can I use?
Exactly.
Can I make it through the night with my diesel heater on the battery? That's what you want to know. I mean, I get it. I totally get that. Quickly, Steve had a question. Does it hurt the battery if it continues to freeze and heat up continuously? So if you're in an environment where it's a constant, you turn on the heater and then later on you turn it off and it freezes, the battery gets cold, and then you turn the heater back on. No. Okay.
It won't damage it at all.
Now, our buddy Tyler at Independence, by the way, if he's like Michael, he has a YouTube channel, and you got to go check him out. But Independence Overland, Tyler's a good friend of ours. He's just a really wicked cool guy, and he cooks these hellacious taco. I don't know what you want to call them, but they're freaking awesome. Anyway, he says, so is the battery monitor needed for the REDARC battery? Is the battery alone compatible with the Red Vision system?
No. So the battery, the smarts inside the battery currently does not communicate with the Red Vision system.
Okay.
But the battery also doesn't have the smarts to give you time, like how much time do you have left. It'll give you volts and amps, like it will give you current flow and voltage, but it doesn't convert that to time. So you do need the REDARC Red Vision System Manager 30, or even just the new battery smart monitor on its own.
Okay. All right, cool. Do you have to put any of the C settings, like a C10, C20s, or any of those, for battery drains or nothing?
No.
Okay.
Nothing like that.
And obviously it hooks to your app, right?
Yeah. It uses the Red Vision app. So once you hook it up to your auxiliary battery on the negative side, the only way that anything can get in and out of that battery must pass through the smart battery monitor. It's essentially a shunt.
Yeah.
That measures current flow in and out of the battery, right?
Yeah.
So we have a Bluetooth chip inside it that communicates with your mobile device, allows you to do all the programming and set up your battery type, capacity, and then it just goes ahead. And once it's reached a full charge, then it'll show you a percentage of charge, a state of charge of the battery, volts and amps, but then also time until it's empty, depending on how much load you've got on the battery at the time, or time until it's full, depending on whether you're charging whilst you're driving down the road or you've got a small solar panel out. It'll make allowances for how much current flow is going into the battery.
So this battery monitor, this shunt, is it a negative side or a positive side? Because most of the ones I've had experience negative. Okay, so it's basically you go from the negative on the battery straight to the shunt, and then the other side of the shunt goes to your switch panels or whatever you want, your bus bar, whatever.
Your common chassis ground, the common ground connection.
Yeah.
So how much does the monitor run for someone who's wanting to get one?
Well, look, it's under $200.
Okay.
There you go.
But it's under $200.
Did you hear that? I'm pretty sure that was your credit card, Jeff.
I have no doubt that he is in there going on it, or creating the wish list of crap, because he's had the REDARC wish list for a while.
It's easier to ask for forgiveness and permission. Just remember.
You know what? Remember your little diesel heater post earlier last week?
Yeah. Did you get the diesel heater?
I told him to order it, and he didn't order it. And then y'all gave me so much crap about him and the metal rose that he got me.
I never gave anybody crap about a metal rose.
Sorry, that was.
Wait, don't throw me in that doghouse.
But you would have been right there too.
I saw the metal rose, and I wondered what crackhead he got it from downtown.
No, actually, he got it from one of the guys one of his employees.
That was kind of cool though, actually. But I didn't comment on it, so come on, cut me some slack. But
you were thinking the same thing. He's just sucking up so he can get that diesel heater.
It's quite possible that I was thinking the same thing. He does need to order the diesel heater, but at the same time, while he's doing it, he needs to order this smart battery.
I'll agree with the smart battery monitor. That at least because then I can start learning stuff, and it'll put that peace of mind in my head and make more sense.
I'm going to go with, don't worry about learning anything. Just read what the monitor says. And that's all you need to worry about. If it says you got, 3 days and 4 hours or whatever it says, don't worry about all the volts and the amps. Just keep your focus on the time.
That's all I need to know is, is it going to get me through the night so that way it can charge the next day doing solar and we're good to go.
I like that kind of thing because honestly, just being able to do a quick look and say, I got 2 days left on my battery at this current draw, the way I'm drawing things, I can just look at it quick and then go about doing whatever I got to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's always my concern is because we've got the kids, so it's always
To add to that, yes, and to make point of Jeff's comment here, REDARC does sell a really nice folding portable solar panel. I believe it's red. Go figure. But it does fold, and I think, what is it, 200 watt or something like that? I can't remember.
Yeah.
But that would complement the battery and the battery monitor.
We have enough solar panels. We don't know.
You see where I'm going
We're good.
with this, right?
We're good.
Okay.
Mark, love your stuff. May not get
you.
the solar panel. Sorry.
That's right. There's always room to buy something down the track. That's okay.
Yeah, no,
and Jeff,
don't encourage my husband
like Lee
either.
said, forgiveness is easier than permission. But anyway,
Amen, brother.
I digress. The good thing about the smart battery monitor as well, being able to calculate time remaining, it's like having the trip computer in your vehicle, in your truck. Distance till empty.
Right.
If you start driving that truck hard, your distance till empty reduces. If you start backing off and driving it a little bit more conservatively, your distance till empty improves. That's essentially what our smart battery monitor does. It's a smart trip computer for your battery. It's a fuel gauge for your battery, a smart fuel gauge.
I think it's perfect, and that is definitely something I see us ordering here soon. Because we've got the kids, and they've got all their electronics that you have to charge at night. And my concern is
I'm asking him, question.
What?
No, go ahead. I'm just saying, I got a question. It just popped in my head. Sorry. This thing is with me.
I know.
Ashley,
Squirrel.
You understand. Squirrel. Do you have to have more than one? Yeah, exactly. Okay, so do you have to have one in your trailer and one on your vehicle?
Well, you've got to have one for each battery bank. So if you've got a house battery in your trailer, in your camper trailer,
right,
you need one for there. If you've got an auxiliary battery, dual battery in your truck, you need one for there as well.
Okay, that's what I was making sure.
The camper, you don't always pull the camper. Sometimes you take the truck. You might have a rooftop tent or just a normal tent. You might throw the fridge in the back of the truck and using your auxiliary battery whilst you're out and about.
Yeah.
Or you might pull up at camp and set up the camper trailer at the camp, but then you go out to explore for the day in the truck. You don't take the camper with you, but you still got an extra battery in your truck. So you just switch the fuel gauge that you're reading from, and there you go.
Does the app automatically recognize, you label it, obviously, the one for your rig and one for your trailer, but if you unhook from your trailer and you're nowhere near it, I'm assuming that the app's only going to show you the information of the rig that you're in.
Yeah.
If you're nowhere near the trailer, you left the trailer at camp, you're out on the trail, the app's only going to read the one in the truck.
It'll only be able to read the one in the truck, but you'll have to select the truck one.
Yeah.
Because you might have a list of them there.
Right.
So you might have your side by side. You might have your camper trailer. You might have your boat. You might have your RV. You might have your van. You might have your fifth wheeler.
Oh,
hey,
see,
lots of
Ashley.
Combinations here.
Yeah, Ashley.
You might have your horse float.
I think
they just killer horse float nowadays. Absolutely killer horse floats. Amazing horse floats.
Oh my God.
With accommodations, like they're a rolling motorhome that can carry 6 horses.
That's a motorhome? I don't know that I've ever seen one here.
Yeah, no, I haven't either.
Do we have them here?
I'm sure they're here, but we've never paid attention to them.
Yeah, have them. I see them all the time.
Really?
Yes.
Mark knows. He's a professional.
Well, I mean, I guess I just missed that. This is something after we're done with the show, I'm going to have to go search, obviously.
You just started him down a whole rabbit hole, so thanks for that.
So I'll say this. I did not know the stuff about the battery, having the built-in heater, and the battery monitor and all. So I may have to go sell a kidney, Ashley. This may be what we need to do for the mobile studio.
Jeff is going to have to sell a kidney too if he thinks he's going to get all that for the cricket.
I know, but man, this mobile studio, the amount of power that Mark's talking about that these batteries have.
Yeah.
Maybe what we need to power that Starlink and all the equipment for the studio.
And we can display for people at more.
Oh yeah. And Ashley could see how much power is left just by reading it and say, hey, we got plenty of time. The show's only an hour, but we got 3 days.
That's right. Then we can have multiple shows in one event with more.
Yep. Speaking of more, tickets are on sale, moreexpo.com.
Yes, they are.
Get yours now. Don't be late.
And go see Lee and I, because we'll be there.
Yep. We're actually going to be
right?
Yeah.
It's
in
April. Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping this will be my first more, but I'm hoping to be there.
Please be there. Please be there. I'd love to actually sit there and meet with you in person.
Ashley and I are going to be right outside the front entrance, the main entrance. Normally we're inside, but Chris informed me that he had to sell our spot because it's just growing so much. And so and now that we have the Starlink and we've, started buying all this equipment for the studio thing, we're going to be right outside the front door. So if you make it, and I hope you do, because it is one heck of an event, then you got to come sit in the chair and hang out with us.
Yes.
I'd love to.
That's awesome.
And then we can get the battery stuff and the smart monitor, and we could literally just do a show with Mark, and he could sit there and go over it all with people live.
Chad sells everything. Overlandaddict.com. Chad has everything you need.
So we just take the trailer to Chad, and Chad installs it, and then we have Mark on the show, and we can do live demonstrations there.
I can be a testament to Chad's wiring abilities for REDARC. And if you haven't ever looked at his Instagram at what Chad had over, holy cow. I mean, like, he wired up the AluCab. Sorry, Mark, there's only one piece of REDARC in there, but there is one in there. But the rest of it, I mean, he wired I know, right?
I don't have any yet. I'm sorry, but I'm working on it, apparently.
But man, he wires, when he does a REDARC system, it's insane. Like, he even has these special housings made that he designs in CADs and has people build them. Have you seen them, Mark? Some of the stuff he puts. Oh, geez.
It's great work.
So
Absolutely great work.
He's the guy to go get your REDARC stuff wired up if you don't know how. Anyway, I'll digress on that. So the next thing is Rogue.
Rogue, yeah. Look, the Rogue, for those that don't know, we have our Red Vision Prime, and it's quite a large box. It's like the Mark I of the distribution modules that we produced. And then, maybe 12 or so months later, we released the REDARC Red Vision Rogue. And this is like the Mark II Red Vision system. It's like a third of the size. It has no fuses that you need to replace. It's all digital fuses inbuilt inside the unit. There's no moving parts. It's fully solid state. It's maybe twice as large as, about the same footprint as an iPad mini, but twice as thick. And this thing's amazing. It will control 10 circuits, 10 individual circuits, fridge, LED lights, inverter, power outlets, maybe your diesel heater, a whole number of circuits that you need to run. It'll monitor 2 water tanks. Now, the new Red Vision Rogue can use resistive tank monitoring devices. So, general 240 to 33 ohm, I think it is, sender units. So you can monitor a fuel tank, maybe an auxiliary fuel tank as well. It's an amazing bit of kit.
Up to how many amps are those 10 circuits?
10 amps per circuit.
10 amps per circuit.
With a peak capacity of 40 amps per circuit.
So that's just for startup. That's just the initial, I'll take that power for a short amount of time. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So in your knowledge bank that you got, up there, how many devices in the normal RV or, well, you guys call them caravans, don't you? Don't call them RVs.
Look, this is where we have you covered, Lee. We have you covered. If you've got more than 10 circuits, you just daisy chain another rogue in, and you've got
there
20
you go.
circuits.
He knew what I was going.
We've got trailer manufacturers here in Australia who are putting the Rogue in as standard, but they're daisy chaining 3 systems.
Wow.
Big trailers, lots of circuits. I'm talking 30 circuits.
So are they hooking this up to your normal household power, or does it just go to the inverter that,
No, it just runs your 12-volt power in your RV.
Okay, but it still hooks, you said inverter, so your inverter is pulling.
We can control the on-off function of an inverter, of a REDARC inverter. So we use one of the 10 circuits from the Rogue to provide a positive power to the trigger point of our inverter to turn it on. And then that means I can turn the inverter on to make a coffee from my deck chair sitting around the fire using my mobile phone, or I can go up to the Red Vision color display and press the inverter on. Or I can implement a separate switch, on-off switch somewhere in your system that you can also turn on and off remotely. The Rogue system also has dimmable LED light feature. So you've got the choice of being able to dim 8 individual LED light circuits on your setup.
Okay, so I'm going to step out here on a limb a little bit.
Oh, Lord, watch out.
And say something. Tyler from Independence Overland is watching and listening. He is building the ultimate new Tacoma. He has the new Tacoma. Now, Tyler and I might differ because I'm not anyway. I like the looks of the Tacoma, but I'm not sold on all these new engines. So, but that's a whole nother show. He's building one of these flatbeds with like this ultimate camper thing. Tyler, Mark is the kind of guy that you can send him an email and say, these are the items I want to put in there. Can you help me? And he actually can do these diagrams. And I'm kind of committing Mark here, but he does these schematics, and he can help you or show you how to lay out the entire electrical system. I'm talking your lights and everything, using the Rogue, using the, whatever it is you want to use. Even if it's not a REDARC product, he can just put something generic in there, and he's great at this stuff. Now,
There's lots of things I can do.
He would rather it be REDARC products that you're putting in there. And just for the record, I think you should just put REDARC in there anyway and be done with it. My next question is, if you can daisy chain these, what do you do if you have something, and I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but what if you have something that requires, say, 50 amps?
Like an ARB twin compressor.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
What do you do?
Easy. So the ARB twin compressor has an internal relay that you can trigger to turn it on. So all we're doing is triggering the relay. We're pulling the power directly from the battery. Easy. You might have...
it's just a trigger then. It's not...
It's just a trigger. Yeah. So if there is an individual product that draws a lot of current when it's operating, we simply use one of our outputs from our Red Vision Rogue to trigger a power relay that can then feed power to the device.
That's so
easy.
Cool. Okay. I know it's kind of, Ashley doesn't get it, but I geek out on this stuff. I don't understand it all.
No, but I'm sitting here thinking, okay, so Jeff's asking, do you take firstborn children as payments for these systems?
Hey, Mark, I know these 2 kids. Don't take them.
Hey, first of all, stop. But I'm sitting here thinking, if
They're
Gavin,
good kids, but you don't want them. They're high maintenance like their mother.
whatever. If Gavin sat down and played with this stuff, I bet he'd be geeking out right now, right here with you.
I bet you're right. He would be someone that would geek out on it. Gavin would.
So my son he's ADHD, but he's got that engineering mindset. So if he'd sit down and just mess with it, this would be something huge that he would love to fiddle with. And I got nothing. Yeah. I was all proud of myself for changing light bulbs with them a couple weekends ago.
And you did a good job when y'all changed those headlights on the Tacoma together. The whole housing and everything. Mm-hmm. You did a good job. Tyler did say he's 100% REDARC in this new build. So
thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah. Anyway.
I'm afraid to get off this show.
I'll be back in the States next month, February.
Really? Yeah, where are you going to be?
Actually,
not that I'm going to stalk. I'm not going to stalk you, but
so it happens. I'll be in Vegas for the NATM show, the National
North American Trailer,
Manufacturers Show, right?
Yeah.
But on the Sunday, there's some big football game happening there.
Yeah,
some big show.
It's overrated.
It's overrated.
I've got my mates here in Australia saying, I can't believe you're going to be there and you don't even care.
I know. I get it. I totally get it. I got a buddy of mine who is this diehard Dallas Cowboy fan. And I found out that he's this big fan just a few weeks back, maybe a month or so ago. And I'm like, Cowboys, they still have a team? And I'm not going to tell you what he said back, but it was colorful. I will say that.
The only Cowboy team I root for is Oklahoma State. Sorry.
Yeah. I'm just not now college football. I totally get into.
Yes.
The NFL, I can't. I don't know. It's just too politicized, I think, is why I'd kind of bailed out. But it is a big deal to a lot of people. Mm-hmm. And, I may the best team win, right?
I'll watch it from home where I'm warm and call it good.
Yeah. Yeah. But, okay. So I think that daisy chain thing really, that was icing on the cake, man.
See, you might start with one system today.
Yeah.
And as your system grows, you can just add in another module, daisy chain it into the system, and then add another 10 circuits and another 2 water tanks.
See, this is really intriguing because as I'm putting together this deal to build the studio, I'm thinking of all I know, mind blown.
I see it ticking over.
So you see the smoke curling out of his ears from behind the
headphones. I thought it was like some air compressor starting up, but it's your mind just ticking over, isn't it?
Yeah, just wait till we get off of here.
I'm terrified to get off the show because I'm afraid of what I'm going to walk into on this list that Jeff's got going on right now of this is all in the shopping cart at REDARC and what we need to buy.
Well, I think what's so that's probably going to happen. Yeah. I think what was so exciting about the Rogue thing when he threw that out there was all this electronic stuff that I'm trying to put together for the studio. And I'm talking, we have lighting, we have sound equipment, we have video switchers, we have, satellite, all this stuff. And then I have GMRS repeaters. I have portable cell pods that allow 200 people to, all this stuff. And I keep thinking to myself, how in the world am I going to facilitate all this power and make it work?
And Mark just answered it all for you.
Well, he answered it all, yeah.
Yeah, you got nothing. It's just it.
I gotta change my drawing around now. I think it might actually become simpler.
See, when you should have messaged Mark first of all and said, this is what I'm needing to do. And he could have designed it for you and told you the REDARC products that you needed.
Well,
I've got hundreds of designs on the go and already done. Chances are I've got it here on my screen now. I can just, here you go.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure if you called and said, I want a battery DC to DC charger, and I want it hooked to my trailer, and I want to do this. He's probably already got one of those set up on his computer. He just emailed
absolutely.
it to me. That's
Mark,
great.
if my husband messages you about designs, I'm sorry. Lee threw you under the bus already for that.
Bring it on. This is what I do. This is what I love, and helping people out is what.
Isn't it fun?
It's a REDARC thing. It's what we do.
Yeah, but isn't it fun though when you get to do that stuff, and then you have people that'll say, "Hey, man, thanks for the help. I got this, this, and this, and it works great." And you're like, "Yes,
I love that."
Yeah. Okay, so you're coming to the States in February. You're going to be in Vegas.
Yeah.
No, you're not going, Lee. You cannot go stalk the poor man.
No. What I'm really hoping is that Mark will make it to more, because I think that is one of the one of the best upcoming shows. I mean, honestly, when it comes to the other big expos, I don't know how Mark feels about them, and he probably can't say. But
I love them all. I love them all. It's where I get the opportunity to go and meet everybody.
No, I totally get it. But from my perspective, I love to go to all of them too, but they've just become so, it's always the same thing, and it's becoming more expensive. What I like about the More Expo is it's continually growing and changing. Like this year, he's got another 100,000 square feet that they're building, and I'm funneling him aviation stuff to try to get paragliders and small airplanes and things like that in there, because it's a whole power sports section. So now he's going to have not only the overlanding side of things and the camping and off-roading, he's got a whole nother section that's going in 100,000 square feet that's going to have ATVs and side-by-sides, and I think four-wheelers, small personal watercraft, the aviation stuff and all that kind of thing. And it's a buying show. That's what I love. I love to sit there, and Ashley knows this. We did this every year. We stand there at our booth by the door, and we watch people walk by with arms full of stuff. And you're like,
I mean, last year I walked out with a set of Devo's lights myself and some other stuff, Max Tracks for the Sequoia, and
nice. It's a great show. So that's one that I really wish and hope that Mark will make it to, because that's a unique show. Chris is somehow or another, he has managed to it's not like an Overland Expo. And don't get me wrong, those are good shows. They're just getting to be expensive, and they're not changing them up. Chris is changing them up. But I still love going to the Overland Expos because I like to see all my friends and I like to meet new people. What can I say? So
you just like to talk and harass people.
Yeah, that's it. All right. So now, Mark, there's one more thing that's coming out later this year.
Yeah. Well, actually, there's a couple of things, but I'm just wondering what I'm allowed to speak about.
All of it. You're allowed to speak about all of it. We'll deal with the ask for forgiveness later.
Yeah. I'll ask for forgiveness rather than permission. Look, well, we do have a Manager 100 coming out.
Explain more.
What is that?
It's a battery management system that can charge large lithium battery banks at like 100 amps.
So like for your van lifers that have like 600 or 700 amp hours?
Yeah. And with this particular unit, you can adjust how much power you want. You can current limit how much power you want to take from your vehicle. So you might have your vehicle alternator that cannot handle a charge rate of 100 amps, but you might have an alternator that can handle 60 amp charge rate to charge your auxiliary battery. So you can tune down the DC output or current draw on your vehicle so that it your vehicle can handle the charge rate specified, right? But this thing can also, once your auxiliary batteries are full, you can set it up to be able to put a charge back into your start batteries.
What?
As well.
Really?
Yes. This thing's amazing.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah, so all batteries are maintained all the time.
So house batteries, start batteries,
Yes,
auxiliary battery. Okay. And how if you can give us an idea about how big this device is it comparable to like a DC 1240, or is it bigger like the Red Vision?
It's way bigger.
Okay.
I mean, now we've had to put an internal cooling fan inside the unit, right? But essentially, it's a smaller footprint than our 30 amp charger, but it's a little higher. And it's like 3 times the output power. Oh, there's heaps of features it's going to have.
Okay, but
I love how excited Mark is getting about this.
I know, right?
About it.
He's all giddy. He's all giddy.
I get giggity about it. Yeah. For sure.
So wait, basically, is it solid state minus the fan? Obviously, you got the fan's a moving part, but everything else is solid state.
Yes, sir.
I feel like I need
fuses
to
or breakers.
Understand.
For any battery charging circuits, do not use circuit breakers ever.
Okay. Look, you learn something every day. Tyler,
are
you listening?
For battery charging circuits, the circuit breakers it's inherited with a circuit breaker. It has a high internal resistance. It's power passing through a bimetal strip. If the bimetal strip gets too hot, it trips and it opens circuits, right?
Right.
That's how a circuit breaker works. With the constant current associated with DC charging circuits or battery charging circuits in general, the circuit breakers more often than not cannot handle this constant current. So you should use MIDI, MIDI, or MEGA, MEGA fuses, bolt-in fuses.
Like the ones you guys have.
Yes,
they're
sir.
flat.
Yeah.
They're about this long.
Yes.
They're
Exactly.
flat. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 2-pole. You have anyway, I got
it. Slide on the fuse, do up the nuts. Happy days.
Yeah. And then what you need to do is make sure, for those of you who, if you ever do this, or if you've already done this, is make sure you order a couple of extras. And I always say a couple of extras for the ones that you can replace, because should something happen and you blow a fuse, you want to be able to replace the fuse, but you still want to have one backup. And if you replace the fuse, go ahead and order another one. So you always have 2 for the circuit that you have. So if you have a 50 amp or 60 amp fuse on there, have 2 spares, because if you have to use one, odds are, if you haven't figured out what you did, you may have to use another one. Get those spares.
Our fuse kits include spare fuses.
Yeah.
Just saying.
There you go.
Because you got people like Lee who lose them too, and just don't want to admit
it. These type of fuses.
Where did that come from?
These type
Am
of
I
fuses
wrong?
might not be the type of fuses that you can regularly get from an auto parts store.
Which is why you want to, when you order something like this, order some extras from REDARC and have a couple extras on that. Now, I will say, I think even like Chad at his shop, I think he carries some. He keeps some there.
Yeah, sure.
And so if you find a REDARC dealer, they probably have them. I would say it'd be safe to say, or at least some of them will. So, but always keep spares. Just good practice,
Yeah.
But that's interesting. I did not know about that, because I'm going to be honest. I did some wiring stuff and I put a breaker in there. I'm going to have to change it now.
Look at the look he is giving you right now.
I know. He's thinking to himself, man, Lee, that's sacrilegious. I probably should. I'm pretty sure I taught you better than that.
I'm sure he did too.
Well, I would have thought so. I mean, you're breaking, you're tearing me a new one here. This is horrible.
Breaking his heart.
Yeah.
He's gonna go have to have a drink now. Oh my gosh!
I tell you that right.
So this 100, when is it coming out? Just later in the year, sometime?
Yeah. Look, if I say by mid-year, I'd be.
Now I know we don't want to hold you, but it's slated to come out sometime later this year.
100%. Yeah.
Okay.
We've got some units in market now being tested in the US.
Really?
Just saying.
Does Jeremiah have one?
I'm not at liberty to say.
I love that guy.
He's a champion bloke.
Yeah, he is. Full of
One of
you
my
know
faves.
what? He's full of you know what, but aren't we
Aren't we all though, Lee? Aren't we all?
Aren't we all? Yeah. Okay, so you said there's multiples. Do you think you can elaborate a little on the other? Maybe give us the teaser?
Well, it's everybody knows about it. It's the Go Block.
I don't know about it.
I don't know about that either.
It's a portable 100 amp hour lithium battery.
Oh, that one.
Okay.
It's a dual battery system in a box.
Yeah, it's like a solar power generator, or as they call them here, solar generators or whatever.
Yeah, kind of. But we have some big differences with our product. One, it has an inbuilt Bluetooth connectivity to your mobile device to give you all the information like days and hours remaining, like I said. But it includes a 50 amp DC-DC charging circuit. So essentially, you can run your refrigerator for like 4 or 5 days and recharge it in 2 hours drive.
Really?
Plugged into what? Just a cigarette lighter?
No, directly to your start battery via an Anderson plug, preferably.
Okay, that's what I was trying. I was like, man, how? But that's cool.
Yeah,
so,
man. It's
2 hours.
Awesome bit of kit.
And most of us are out on the trail at least for an hour or two every day, or we've traveled somewhere, so that's quick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean it doesn't include an inverter, but you can run it, let's say a 700 watt inverter from it, which will cover most of your camera charging and your drone charging requirements. Which, by the way, most of these sorts of things can run direct from DC now anyway. You don't need an inverter, but it just enables you to have an auxiliary battery and take your refrigerator and LED lights and things in any vehicle that you're traveling. You might have it in your truck right now, but you might take this side-by-side out hunting for the day. You can take your fridge with you, keep your catch fresh. You can go fishing down the beach with it. You can take it out in your boat. Take it in the wife's car to go and visit some wineries and pick up some wine. Hey, the applications are endless.
Holy cow! Well,
I see this going in the Sequoia.
Skip the beach part. I don't like sand in my crotch, but the wine thing I'm down for. I'd take the wine trip, but I don't like sand in my shorts. I grew up on the ocean and lived on the beach, and I've had my fill, so no thanks. But dude, that is excellent because I'm thinking family road trips. You're right. So let's just say you got it in your truck, you're out on an adventure, but you're home, and you're going to take a holiday weekend, and you want to put the fridge in the back so you guys can go to grandma's house. Put the fridge in the back, carry some food. This thing will power it and charge it back.
Any vehicle.
That's impressive. Okay,
Yeah,
I know. Yeah.
Let's say Jeff and I were talking about doing a trip where we'll be gone for a week of traveling, but we'll take the camper, but we have 2 fridges. So one would stay in the camper and then one would be in the Sequoia for, drinks and stuff to make sandwiches and stuff like that on the road. So that would be huge for the ability to charge it too.
Yeah.
Steve.
My son took him and his girlfriend went down south with a Go Block and his portable fridge.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, he didn't have an Anderson plug connection directly with his starter battery, which I've now sorted that out, of course. But he just charged it through the cigarette lighter socket, which would give this to you as an option. And that provides about a 7.5 amp battery charge whilst you're driving, right? So running his fridge for 5 days, in and out of it regularly, only charging from the 7.5 amp cigarette lighter connection, he was able to run his fridge for the 5 days. And he said, Dad, by the end of each day, it was like at 70% charged.
What?
That's crazy.
Yes.
I like Steve's comment down there about the direct deposit because that's probably what's going to have to happen.
So you might go, you might have the 50 amp charging ability in your truck, but you don't have it in the wife's car or your buddy's car. So all you need to do is plug it into the cigarette lighter socket, so you're getting some charge.
Yeah, it's not the same, but yeah, you're getting it.
Right.
It'll extend your time away.
Steve says, can he just set up his direct deposit to you guys? You're gonna make him poor. I'm sure, REDARC's pretty up on technology. I would assume that there's probably a way that they could, funnel all that to them and send you product.
Probably.
I feel your pain, Steve. I think that this studio thing that I'm working on, yeah.
Well, Jeff said earlier it's going to be the Taxi Cricket on steroids. So
yeah.
I'm so scared to get off this radio show.
That's awesome. I love it when Mark comes on, because people, their minds start to open up to, oh, I didn't know that, or wait, you can do that with a REDARC product. Yeah. And in the past, when Mark's been on, I've gotten messages after the show going, okay, I had no idea. Like, we talked about the DC to DC chargers one time, and there's a lot of things that I didn't realize. But then after the show, I had messages about, saying, hey, wait, this thing will do solar priority. So, if I'm driving and it's sunny and my solar panels are up on top of my rooftop tent, and they're all connected in or whatever, you're telling me that this thing's going to pull the power from the solar and not my truck to save me fuel? And I'm like, yeah, that's what he said.
Hey, I didn't even know that was a thing, because, we keep on the Cricket, there's a big solar panel that's mounted, a little thin one that's mounted. That way, if we could charge it, driving down the road while we're traveling, that would be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you didn't know that it will do that?
No.
Seriously. Yeah. So look, it will charge off of your truck. Obviously, your
I need that one, right?
Okay. But if you have it connected to solar and it detects there's solar energy coming in, it will give that the priority for the charge versus putting the strain on your alternator, which equates to fuel mileage loss,
right,
or gain, depending on how you want to look at it.
Yeah.
And so I learned that.
Still take some power. Yeah, we'll still take some power from your truck, but it'll be a reduced amount of power that we need, because we're getting some of that from the solar panel.
Yeah.
See, but okay, so like when the Cricket is on the Forerunner already gets horrible gas mileage. So any chance that I can save on fuel when having to tow the Cricket is going to be massive, because the Forerunner gets maybe 11.5 miles to the gallon right now. Then you put the Cricket on it and you're getting like 9. It's terrible.
Ashley, entertain me for a moment.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
Okay. Let's say when you get to your destination and you unhitch the Cricket and set up camp, if you have the option to park in the shade, do you park in the shade?
No.
Or do you park directly in the sun?
We park in the sun, but we have a big Dragonfly canopy. So we use the sun for solar.
No.
Yeah. So, but so if it was really steamy hot, like it's 100 degrees.
Look what you're dealing with now.
It's this shaded area underneath this canopy of trees. Are you going to go and park your trailer under the shaded area? Or
I would prefer to.
No. I know. I'm going to park my trailer in the sun because I need that little solar panel on top working.
No, I prefer to park in the shade.
So
you prefer it.
You're going to go and park. You'll go and park in the shade. So this takes me back to this portable solar panel, whether it's the folding or it's the blanket.
Yeah.
This will enable you to always park in the shade and put your portable panel in the sun.
Okay.
See?
You're just trying to convince me that I need another solar panel on top of what I already have.
But there's no such thing as too much solar. You cannot have too much solar. But like us here in Australia, if you get the option to park in the shade, you're going to park in the shade.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
So that's why portable panels are great, because they don't take up much real estate. They're compact. You slide them underneath your seat, especially the blankets, because they're like big. And then put them out in the sun.
Yeah, your portable blanket folds it folds half, and then it folds over and over or something like that to where it's like a little mini suitcase.
Okay. I didn't even know about this blanket, and Jeff's over here going, he had to tie in the blanket. Well done, Mark. Well done.
I've been hanging out with Lee way too long.
Yeah.
Mark,
Yeah.
we're gonna have to work on our relationship here because you cannot keep ganging up on me.
Oh, I'm not ganging up on you.
No, he's helping
on your
you
side.
understand. He's helping you understand how to spend your money in a smart manner. Okay, he's not
any more reasons to spend
he's
money.
not. Nobody's ganging up on you. He's educating you on the best bang for your buck, as we like to say over here. I don't know what they say in Australia.
We say the same, but it's always good to have permanent solar mounted on your rig, right?
Yes.
Because you're always getting the energy.
Mm-hmm.
But don't dismiss portable solar panels or blankets because they have such a huge advantage to your overlanding experience. Because I'm telling you, when you got the chance to park in the shade, you're going to park in the shade, and then that solar panel on top of your rig doing squat.
We've got the one that's permanently mounted to the top of the creek, but then we do have a portable like briefcase thing, solar too. So we've got both options.
And here's something to consider too. When you put those thin panels, I don't know, yours has the thin panel on top of the trailer, right?
Yes, we added it. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so one of the things that I think people miss, and Mark may correct me and tell me I'm wrong, but it's my understanding that those thin panels heat up so much that they become somewhat inefficient or not as efficient as they would be because there's no air circulation underneath them. Whereas a blanket or a portable that sits out there is going to have that airflow underneath it and help it. So the perception is that the hotter the sun, the more sun I got, the better the solar panel works. But that's not always the case, because if the solar panel is laying flat against a surface and it's heating up extremely hot, it really isn't as efficient. It's not. How do you call it? Transfer of energy, I guess. It's not absorbing as much and transferring it. Whereas if that panel was up just a little bit to have that airflow under it, it would do so much more.
That one
the
I
hotter
did know.
something gets, it creates more resistance, right? So then your output's going to be less. That's all it is.
Yeah, and I hope I don't know if I was saying that right or explaining it right, but
yeah, you pretty much nailed it.
Even a blind squirrel gets a nut once in a while.
Watch his ego blow up just a little bit.
No.
You know,
I got lucky.
That's
exactly all.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at all the houses that have. Thank you. You look at all the houses that have solar panels on top. They're not mounted directly to the roof. There's a space underneath them to allow the cool air to flow underneath to help them keep cool.
Right.
It's quite ironic, right? For a solar panel to work, we've got to put it in the sun. It's going to get hot. But we don't want them to get too hot.
Right.
You know, even the flat panels, the flexible ones that are like on your Cricut, they'll tell you when you're gluing them down to glue in a pattern that you're not gluing the entire surface to surface. You're only gluing parts of it so that there's still an area to get some air under it. But I don't think that happens very often. I think it just gets smashed down on it with as much glue because everybody's worried it's going to come off.
I don't remember how we mounted ours, but we've got one of the flex panels up there. But I mean, regardless, because it is a flex panel and it's stuck to the Cricut, and that just is a pop-up at an angle. Once the sun moves, you can't move it with it in there anyway. So that's why we have the briefcase where we could move it to match with where the sun is.
Yep. Yeah. I have to get another one because I've had Chad's 250 watt hardcore suitcase panels for like 3 months. I borrowed them when we were in Colorado, maybe 4 months now. I don't know, in Colorado. And I haven't seen him to give it back to him yet. But this weekend when we camp on our polar bear camp out, I have to relinquish my custody of his panels. So I have to get more. So I may have to get a REDARC blanket now.
There you go.
So anyway.
Whilst we're on the topic of solar, well, a lot of people ask me, how much power can I expect from my solar panels?
Oh,
basically,
very good.
A conservative rule that I go by is we have the ability to generate 5 amps of power per 100 watts of solar panel.
Okay, 5 to 100.
So what's it going to do, right? So if I've got my 100-watt panel out in the sun and it's working efficiently and it's generating 5 amps for 5 hours, how much is that going to replenish?
Not that much.
Yeah, hell yeah, it is. 5 amps for 5 hours. 5
I'm
times
thinking
5 is 25.
25, yeah, but
that's 25 amp hours.
Oh, you're talking about over the course of the whole. Okay, sorry, I wasn't on the same.
Yeah. So if we can generate solar energy for 5 hours a day, which is basically where you're going to get your maximum amount of power from.
Right.
5 amps per hour is 5 amp hours. Times 5 hours is 25 amp hours.
Right. So it's cumulative, basically, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
okay. Got it.
So
okay.
We're putting that back into your battery, right? So if I had 200 watt solar panels,
right now
that would generate
50.
10 amps.
Right. Yeah.
For 5 hours is 50 amp hours.
50 amp hours.
And when I'm designing systems, I want to have the ability, the minimum ability to be able to replenish 50% of my amp hour capacity in 5 hours of sun.
That's actually a good calculation. So you have a 100 amp hour battery, you drain it halfway, you should be able to replenish it back to 100% in 5 hours if you have 200 watts of solar at 10 amps.
Done.
That's pretty good.
In theory.
Right.
This is the sort of easy stuff that I talk about to people, whether it's by email or it's on a show like this, or I'm at a show. It doesn't have to be hard if we just keep it basic.
Yeah, I mean, when you explain it like that, it's hard to say it's not basic and simple.
Lee's rethinking the trailer setup now for the studio.
Yeah. I know I am. This thing's going to be one of those things that'll either make me or break me, and it's probably going to break me because.
Mark, just be on the phone. Be ready. Because
I'm always here.
Here's the thing. I got to buy a trailer to turn into a studio because we have all these opportunities to go to shows and do live broadcast. And you know, we do more every year. Now we're going to do Overland the Americas. We actually may be doing expos this year. And there's a few others that I've talked to people that are like, yeah, we'd like to have you come to, you know, these events, set up and do live streamings, you know, and so you can't do that out of an Audi cab, not very long. No. So I'm thinking, hey, I'm going to have to find a trailer and, you know, convert it and turn it into a little mobile studio. Nothing big, but it did get me to thinking is, you know, the electric awnings, can the Rogue handle an electric awning? You know what I'm talking about?
If it's not more than a constant 10 amps whilst it's operating, which I don't think it would be. And even if it is, Lee, all you need to do is have the Rogue power a relay that could then supply the power to the awning motor.
Kind of reminds me of like a soft start for an air conditioner, for an air conditioner. Okay.
Yeah, similar. But
right,
there's always the Red Vision Prime that features 5 30 amp circuits. So if the Rogue's not going to cut it for you, you could always go for the Prime.
I like the way the Rogue sounds. It's small, it daisy chains. Yeah. Most of the stuff is 10 amps or less. And I gotta say, I wasn't really sure what this thing did or was capable of. And I can't, when we got on the show, we were going to talk about this thing. I was just like, I'm open-minded, but I really like the Red Vision. I really like the system they have. So what's the deal with this? Okay. I'm sold on it. I think it's a great, you know, option for people, especially in the market where you have lots and lots of little devices. And we do.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
We do. I know I do. Holy cow.
I do with the kids. I mean, phones, iPads, switches. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at even in my Audi cab right now, for example, I have the Garmin switch in there that does all the switching, you know, their little thing, and it has 6, you know, ports on it. I've converted my Starlink over to 12 volt. I have a 12 volt gigabit router, Wi-Fi router. I have a 12-volt switch. I have a small mini computer now that displays weather and goes on this little touch screen right here, and all this stuff. And I'm thinking the Rogue's what I need.
Well, that's only 5 circuits.
No, I know, but I have even more. So I have, then I have,
a refrigerator.
I put all these, I put the fridge, I got lights, I got, what else do I have? I know I have some more stuff. Oh, I've put these powered USB and USB-C that will do up to 60. Well, they'll do up to 60 watts.
Yeah.
So that things like that. So I have those scattered about. And then I have the diesel heater. I have the air conditioner. So I have all these things, and I'm thinking the Rogue's
10 circuits.
I'm like, but to do that now with my Garmin, I got to buy 2 more Garmins.
Sorry about that.
So, this guy. Sorry about that.
I really like him.
I do too. I do too, because it's so nice to have somebody that knows how to get me back. Ashley's not any good at it.
Whatever. You're full of shit.
So yeah, and then building the studio now, it's more computers, more lights, more sound, more this, that, and the other. And I'm thinking,
because you have to have all the cameras too.
Yeah, daisy chain.
Yeah, I'm afraid of you. Chad, if you're watching, please do the wiring for the trailer. I'm scared of Lee doing it.
Damn. All right.
I just see it catching on fire.
All right, so thanks, Ashley.
Love you.
So nice to feel loved. Anything else we need to know about that's coming? That you can hint to, or anything you want to share?
I think I've shared
enough
bit of information today about what's new and coming. Possibly too much. I'm not sure, but like we said before, forgiveness rather than permission. But look, there's lots of exciting things happening. Where we've got a massive team in the States now, and that's growing all the time. So our customer support is the benchmark to what every other business aspires to. So we're all about the customer. That's the most important thing to us. Whether it's your customer or it's our customer, we're all in this together, right? So
how you make sales, man?
Yeah. When we start helping a business to do whatever it might be that they're doing, we partner with them. So we're like just an extension of their tech team for their business. We don't get paid for that. It's just we want to be involved and help show you the ways that we know are successful. It might not be the only way to do things, but it's what we find to be successful, and hopefully that'll make you successful.
I love it. That's the way it should be.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the way it should be. All right, everybody. We've wow.
We went over the hour.
We went an hour, 20 minutes. Holy smokes.
But I've learned a lot. And I hope everybody else that's been on has learned as much as I have. So
I always learn something from him.
Cool.
Mark, I really hope you're going to make it to more.
Yes, same. Look, I'll be having discussions this week about it. There's some other trips I've got to do this year. So I'm thinking April is a good enough space away from February for me to get along. So let's
just tell them that they've been outvoted and they've lost, and we've all decided that you have to be at more, and that's it.
Well, I'm pretty sure we're on display at more this year. I'm not sure.
I think you are.
Sure
I think so.
Why don't we just one up it, Ashley?
What?
And let's just find out who makes these decisions, and let's just make Mark move to the States, and he can fly back to Australia every so often to do some stuff, but he has to live here in the States.
Yeah.
Just come move to Oklahoma.
Lee, you know that was entertained there for a while.
I know it was. That's why I kind of rehashed that. Yeah. I remember there was some talk at one point in time of Mark might end up over here, and I was really excited about it because I think that he could just do so much. for REDARC over here. I mean, he already does, but when your feet are planted here, it's a lot easier to maneuver and get to more places more frequently. And there's not a time, difference. Because for us, it's 9:00 at night. For him, it's in the morning.
Yeah, it's almost lunchtime.
Or, almost lunchtime. So, awesome. All right. Well, Mark, thanks for coming on. Thanks for hanging with us.
Thank you so much for having me. Yeah, it's great. I love hanging with you guys. Always.
I will do it again. There's still more stuff because, when you go to the REDARC site, and for those, it's REDARC USA, I believe, or REDARC. How does it go?
REDARCelectronics.com.
Yeah. Okay. That's it. Sorry. Had a moment.
You just confused him with Midland.
I know, right?
Find it.
I think I did actually. So, when you get on your website, though, there's a lot of other things. There's a lot of little intricacies of little pieces and parts of these puzzles that you can put together as kits. And I think sometime we should revisit those together and talk about these kits. I mean, I think it warrants another show at some point.
Yeah. And if anyone's got any questions, they can email REDARC directly. power@redarcelectronics.com. I'll get that email, so then I can share or reply and help out as many people as you like.
I love it, and I love that you're willing to do that.
There is no limit.
I definitely see that you're going to be getting a lot of emails from people listening.
Bring it.
Yeah, I think it's great. So bring it on. He thrives on this stuff, and I love it.
He's
so that's why it's so nice.
About it.
I love it.
I know, and that's why I enjoy having him on here, because one, you learn something, obviously,
right?
But he's excited. He loves the product and he loves the brand. And how long have you been with REDARC now?
17 years.
Wow.
I've been doing this industry for 36 years.
God, that speaks volumes.
Mm-hmm.
And here I always thought you had some kind of dark history and you weren't into this beforehand.
No, honey, that's you. You've got the dark history. Quit trying to pawn your crap off on other people.
She's so funny. All right. Well, everybody, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. This will be posted on Spotify, so it'll be on all the podcast things here in a few days. Feel free to go look at it. Again, go check out REDARC, their website and all their products. Go look at this Rogue thing. This is
I already know what I'm about to walk back into.
This Rogue thing is this is a game changer hugely. Make sure you go follow REDARC on their socials, the Facebook, and do all that stuff.
Absolutely.
Do it for us as well. We would appreciate it. And we would also appreciate any good reviews that you could give us out there listening. Since we kind of got the short end of the stick a few months back, but anyway, thanks. Ashley, got anything?
No, Mark, I can't thank you enough. I've had a blast. I've learned a lot.
Right. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes.
So awesome.
I can't wait to actually get to meet you face to face. It's going to be great.
I know, right? Be awesome. I can't wait. Let's make it happen.
Let's do it.
All right. Everybody, we'll be back next week. We're going to have Kelly with Adventure Built. And if you haven't seen him, go check out his stuff. But Kelly's going to join us next week.
Can't wait.
On the show, and that'll be fun. He puts out some really good videos, and he's a super nice guy. So, Mark, thanks again.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Everybody, good night.
Enjoy the rest of your week.